boys and girls. Today's little project is a deck boat. It's relatively new. I think it's a year old, so 2017 maybe. And the owner's got some scratches. This first one I'm showing, I believe he tried to get off another rub or scuff using a green scratchy pad, which is a big negative. You can see how badly scuffed that is now. It's probably worse than the original one. Unfortunately, what happens is people that grab those things to remove stuff typically do it wet, and so all they see is the fact that it's removing what they were trying to, not realizing in time, because it is wet, that they're making it worse than it initially was. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and start by taking off the tape and removing this major scuff right here. So the first step is going to be wool pad, rotary polisher. This happens to be a Flex. And compound. This is Meguiar's heavy oxidation and scratch remover. It's really abrasive and gritty, so it should take down that scratch area caused by the green scratchy pad. Just gonna put like a quarter size dab on there, and that's gonna make it so I don't sling or throw this product all around. It's near the center of the pad. So I'm just getting a good angle on it, seeing where the problem area is. I'm gonna start in the wide open area above the scratch. So even though on camera that probably looks a lot better, unfortunately that scratch is deeper than compound is going to take out. So that means I've got to wet sand it. Alright, so amazingly enough, I actually have a couple different sandpaper with me. Start with the 1000 grit, which is going to be the most coarse. Going to work down to the 1500, which is a little bit finer, and then finally the 2000, which is even finer. So if it was heavier, I might even start with an 800, but that's probably as gritty as I would go. I don't have any 800 with me, so hopefully the 1000 is going to work. All right, so a couple things about wet sanding. I've got a little makeshift sanding block, which is a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, which is a sponge. I'm going to wrap my paper around that. That'll give me something to push on and have a little bit of give. The big deal is you want to keep it nice and wet, both the sandpaper and the surface you're working on. Now, a couple different schools of thought as far as sanding goes. I was always taught you should go in one direction. I've seen other people say you should go in a cross pattern. I don't know, I'm going to follow the way I was taught, which is go in the same direction. So when I start sanding, I'm going to start getting some milkiness to what's coming off, and that'll be kind of an indicator that I should go ahead and stop. So again, this is 1000 grit sandpaper to remove the scratches right here, and I'm also going to do right here while I'm at it. I'm going to look at where I got to work. I'm going to get that wet, and I'm going to start sanding. And this is going to make it look dull and hazy, but that's okay. I'm creating super fine scratches. Now it's kind of funny to think, well, you're creating scratches to remove scratches. Yes, I am. But I'm taking the scratches down finer and finer, and then I'll be able to compound those away at the end. It's nice and dull now, which is what you would expect after sanding. And I'm just going to go on that other area I was pointing out. Right here, and then a little bit up there. I don't want to get out of the area that I'm trying to work. I want to stay in that area because the more you sand, the more you're going to have to polish, the more work. You don't want to create extra work if you can avoid it. Already give me plenty here to do. Oh, I'm seeing something up there. I've created 3 little rough areas. That was with my 1000. I'm going to go down to a 1500. I like to always fold my paper in half, and that way I can get more uses. If you use these whole sheets, you end up going through, burning through these packs. And, you know, everything has expenses, so it's not that it's super expensive, but it adds up. I think these packs are, I don't know, 20 bucks a piece maybe. And where you get this kind of sandpaper is going to be a body shop supply company, so like a paint store for automotive. They would carry it. This happens to be Unigrit, and it's called the Professional Unigrit Finishing Paper by Meguiar's. Mirror glaze, serving professionals since 1901. And it is good stuff. So anyway, again, I'm going to want to get this real wet. Keep it wet. And then I'm going to get my areas that I need to sand wet again also. And just a couple times over it, and that should take care of it. I'm overlapping, going back and forth through that area. Rinse off my paper, re-wet. Now I'm going to go down to my 2000. Again, I'm going to conserve some paper here. Probably edit this out anyway. A couple folds back and forth, and creases will generally make it so you've got a nice straight line to tear on. Again, get it nice and wet. Get my area nice and wet. I'm actually going to wipe this off because I want to get that residue that I created out of there. I don't need that getting in the way of the next level of sandpaper. Re-wet. I've got that milky residue coming, that shows me that it's actually working. I'm taking something away. Now back to buffing. Again, I'm going to put it right near the center of the pad. Just a little dollop. Got a quarter-size circle, but it is fairly tall, so there's a bit of product there for sure. And I'm going to start the top middle. That's gotten most of it. There's still a little bit of stuff in through here. So I'm going to go again. Notice when I do the buffing, I do go cross pattern. So I'll go sideways and up and down. In buffing, when it's bad, you definitely do want to do that. In this case, I'm putting the product right on the scratch because it's up near that vertical, and I can't put it in the middle of the pad and work the area I need to, which is going to be the edge to get up that high. All right, so here's the area that has now been wet sanded, compounded, and polished. If you get really close right up in here, you can see just a tiny bit still, but considering where it was, I think I'm going to go ahead and call that good, because I don't want to take down so much material that then I'm thinning out this gel coat. So compared to what it was and what it is, that is night and day difference. And unless he has an issue with that, I'm going to go ahead and call that good. All right, so that is the finished job of the scratched and scuffed area. It's been wet sanded, compounded again, and polished. So I know that looked like I was taking a picture of my Scion, but I wasn't. I was actually looking at the side of the boat and the reflection of my Scion. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them and I will get back to you.